Welcome. Today we're going to discuss the technique locked wing, its execution, some of the things that can go wrong there in its execution, and how to compensate for those issues. So we'll start out with the ideal phase. The ideal phase is a hammer lock from behind to your right arm as they're holding your left arm. So the way that the hammer lock works is they're trying to get my hand above my elbow towards my head, and that's what creates the pressure on the shoulder. And then obviously they have my left hand grabbed. So let's talk about the first thing we want to do. Rule number one is establish a base. So I want to step back and get into a stance. Now, this could potentially buckle your opponent if I hit him with the leg. It doesn't have to. That's not the ideal phase. The phase, or what you're trying to do, is just to establish your base. So if you notice what I'm doing, though, I'm walking away from my hand. So this is called fixed spatial cocking. I leave my hand where it is so that as I step, this cocked my hand. So a thing that you see here a lot of the times is people try to overcompensate and pull this out. And then this is going to end up happening where you're going to get checked and you'll have to go into our flight to freedom technique. So you want to make sure that you do a fixed spatial cocking, not to alert him that you're doing anything. This fully extends his hand, cocks our hand so that we're ready for the next strike. So let's talk about what we're doing with the right hand. So if you notice on some of our bear hug techniques, the idea of the opponent is to line up their center line so they're able to lift you. Again, the way this lock works is he's lined up on my center line trying to pull up. What I'm going to do is start turning so that his alignment is no longer in a line to be able to lift the arm up to hurt me as much or as easy. Okay? And obviously, anytime that we're grabbed, we typically want to counter grab. So I'm counter grabbing him, and then I'll be able to execute. So we'll continue from here. He grabs me. He's got both hands pinned. I step, counter grab, and then turn for the elbow. So the idea here in the elbow is that this should already push him back. Start extending this arm. Ideally, you might not get the results that you want, so this is where we follow the rule, don't cross your center line without using it. So once you hit, you just simply extend your hand, get that extension of the arm that you want, put your hand in line of sight for what you want to hit, which is going to be the back, his elbow with the front of our arm. The way we're going to do this strike is by shifting to a forward ball and thinking about pointing straight to the floor. So think about this as crossing talon, but with the arm behind me instead of the front, and I'm using the front of the arm instead of the outside of the arm. So we're going to turn around real quick so you can see the next potential problem that can arise in the next part of the technique. So we get to here, I hit, and then instead of driving him down, I use my step and pull to turn him. The problem with that is I'm starting in orbit, and it could easily come back to hit me. So I don't want to do that. I want to keep him controlled. So once I get to here, I want him controlled. I want him all the way down. Let's move to this angle. So once he's down, I don't want to lift him up. I want to control him where I'm still keeping him down so he can't get up. If he tries to get up, my shoulder is keeping him pinned. So now let's talk about where we step. This is where a lot of times people argue, oh, you should step to this corner. It doesn't matter. The ideal phase is to just get your major weapons ready and in line of sight for what you want to hit. So remember, foot maneuvers are done as needed. This is a prime example of that. You're moving your foot to a line where you need so that you have line of sight with both my right and my right. So now let's talk about how you do the final move. The final move could be done a couple different ways. You could do them at the same time. You could do the hand first, then the foot, or you could do the foot and then the hand. The idea is to do them at the same time. You're doing scissoring. So you're doing a vice-like motion. I want to hit with the knee and decapitate the head with the right. That's the concept. You're not really going to decapitate him, but you want to think that's the effect you want. So it's with a base. And then just like 5 swords, if you want more margin for error, you can let the fingers drop below, turn the wrist, and then that gets you a better keeping your elbow anchored. Now, like most of our techniques, you're left in the middle of a fight. You have to decide what you want to do from there, an extension, cover out. We're going to choose to cover out like we typically do, and then get out. So one more time, quick walkthrough. Hammer lock, and they have the wrist locked. Potentially, he might not have this hand grabbed. He might just have his other hand down. That's okay, it'll still work the same way. Establish my base, counter grab, spatial cocking, fixed spatial cocking, walk away from the hand. Hit with the elbow, extend the arm if you need to. Shift as you punch straight down. Adjust your stance, keeping him down. Don't lift him up. Vice-like. And then cover out, keeping the elbow anchored. We'll do it one more time without the walkthrough. Up. We hope this video helps you. Thank you very much.